Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Nitty Gritty Sports, where we get into the nitty gritty about sports. And good God Almighty, I cannot stress to y'all the problems we've had setting up this video and getting our webcam situated. We've had some recording issues. It has been a struggle bus to get this video started. So I'll go ahead and just ask for y'all if you can leave a like for us. For the struggles that we just had to encounter, it'd be much appreciated. Me and Aiden are both on edge right now after having to deal with that bull shenanigans. Also, 86% of y'all that are watching the videos aren't subscribed. So if you guys like watching idiots talk about sports, this is definitely the place you want to come to. And with that being said, if you guys could drop a subscribe down below and also hit that notification bell as well, it'd be much appreciated. Now, getting into the video, we're actually going to be talking about 3 bowl games, and these are bowl games that you need to be paying attention to as well if you're trying to make some easy money. So we're going to be talking about the Cheez-It Bowl with Iowa State and Clemson. We'll be talking about Oregon and Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl / opt-out bowl. And then the third bowl game we're going to be talking about is the Music City Bowl with Purdue versus Tennessee. And I think that all 3 of those games are going to be good games. Those are also games I feel like you can bet on and make some good money.
We got some locks for y'all in this video.
Yeah, so I definitely agree. There's definitely some locks I think that you need to be betting. If you're not a big bettor, these are games I think you should go and just take your chances on. Now, keep in mind, these are prediction videos. This is college football. Anything can happen. But these are just lines.
Right.
Yeah, these are just lines I feel like you just got to go take a look at. So, first and foremost, we'll start with the Cheez-It Bowl. I don't know what the hell the Cheez-It Bowl is. I didn't know what that was until this year when I actually looked at the bowl games and the list of bowl games. It's like every year I click on the list of bowl games, I see a couple new bowls I've never even recognized before. I have no clue if the Cheez-Its Bowl has been a thing for a while. But anyways, Iowa State at Clemson playing on the 29th. This is a game where Clemson is a 1-point favorite, but this is a game I don't think Clemson wins. If I'm a Clemson fan, I'm worried. You just came off the worst recruiting class in the past few 5, 6, 7 years, however long it's been. Y'all finished 17th in recruiting. You only signed 13 recruits, which I don't know how the hell that's possible, being Clemson. So the ship is close to sinking. With that being said, Clemson's also had a lot of coordinators leaving. They got to replace a lot of guys. Brent Venables left to go to Oklahoma. I'll mention more about that later. Now, Iowa State's been a pretty disappointing team, as well as Clemson, obviously. Both teams started out in the top 10 in the preseason polls. Iowa State and Clemson both had their disappointments going on through the season, definitely falling short of expectations. But in this game alone, I just don't see how Clemson scores enough points to win this game. Clemson's offense obviously has been the storyline of this year, been on the struggle bus, trying to even score points against very inferior opponents. It's been very weird to say the least. It's something that a lot of people are not used to seeing. And although Clemson has had some games in the back half of the season where they've put up some points, I'm not getting fooled by it. Iowa State has a decent defense. They don't have a great or elite defense or anything like that. But Clemson's going to have to put up maybe in the upper 20s or 30s, I think, to win this game. And I don't see that happening. Iowa State's
They're going to have to score more than that, bro. They're going to have to score more points than that, dude.
Yeah, Iowa State, they're not a great offense. They don't have a great defense. But they're a team that definitely can compete with the best of them. They're one of the few teams in the Big 12 that actually care to play some defense anymore. So Clemson, this isn't going to be a game where they're going to go up and down the field scoring 30 or 40 points. Clemson's defense is going to have to step up. Clemson's defense is still solid. They've had some injuries this year. But I think if you're going to play this game, you cannot bet on Clemson after what's been happening with the off-the-field drama, with the recruiting, with the coordinators leaving. So give me Iowa State and the 1 point in this game. Aiden, I've kept you kind of quiet. I apologize for that. But what are your thoughts going into this game?
Yeah, Iowa State, basically it's a pick 'em, so you're picking who's going to win. I like Iowa State, just like you. Clemson, like you said, they had a lot of drama going on. They don't know if Dabo's going to go to the NFL. He's in the news about dissing on the transfer portal. He's got coaches leaving. Recruits are leaving. And like you were saying, the ship's sinking, or at least that's the sense over there at Clemson. And this game's going to have a big tell in the future. But I think they're going to lose, man. Iowa State, they played some real good schools. Baylor, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and they kept it close against all of them, man. They're a real good football team. And they also do have a good defense, like you said. Now, if you look at the stats at first glance, it's going to look like they give up more points than usual, but that's just because they score so fast and they score a lot of points. They don't have a lot of time of possession because they're moving the ball down the field, big chunk plays, putting the ball in the end zone. They have a lot of good DBs, a lot of speed on the field at all times. I think that's going to play an impact. They're just going to be running around them by the end of the game. Iowa State -1. I think they'll cover that comfortably. I might even take them if you could get them at 3, 4. You get some great odds on that, I'm sure. And that should be something you should look for too. But yeah, Iowa State, I think they'll beat them by a touchdown, maybe more, but I don't think it'll be a super close game.
We get the Alamo Bowl later on that day. They play at 9:20 p.m. Oregon and Oklahoma. This is a game as well. This game in itself lost a lot of its luster with all the opt-outs. I think this could have been a great game before the whole opt-out situation happened. And I kind of figured it was going to happen with all these players leaving. So with that being said, Oklahoma 4.5-point favorites. I don't think you can really turn that down regardless of the situation, regardless of Lincoln Riley leaving to go to USC, which, by the way, if you've been living under a rock, obviously Lincoln Riley packed his bags in the middle of the night, left Oklahoma in the dust, and went on to USC. So he will not be coaching in this game. And Oklahoma brought in Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator from Clemson. And I think he's going to do a good job there. He'll obviously be coaching in this game, I believe. And I think Oklahoma, although they've had some opt-outs in the coaching situation, they're just a better team than Oregon. Oregon has recruited well in the past, and they got some talent on that side of the ball, but there is just something weird with that team this year. They cannot get up for games, it seems like. They're just a weird team. They can beat Ohio State, but then go out and lose to the worst Stanford team that Stanford's had in some years. So with that being said, I think Oklahoma 4.5 points. I think that's a lock. There's no way I could play Oregon if I'm going to bet on this game. Oregon obviously getting blown out by Utah in the Pac-12 championship, and that was a good win for Utah. Utah's a good team, don't get me wrong. But Oregon, they're not a good team. I just don't buy into the hype. I've never bought into the whole Oregon hype, and this season pretty much proves why people are so against them when it comes to betting. Aiden, 4.5 points for Oklahoma. I'm going to go ahead and take Oklahoma. What are your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, Oklahoma 4.5. I think they'll cover that. Basically banking off the fact that I believe every team in the Pac-12 for the most part is overrated. Most specifically Oregon. They had a couple big wins mixed with some real stupid losses, and their coach just left, correct?
Yeah. He's gone.
So I mean, and that's going to have another big role in the game. It just lost to an overrated Utah team pretty badly, and they just have a bad strength of schedule. They've won their games, but they've been close games to bad teams. They've played a tough schedule, and they've been through a lot of adversity. Their quarterback's just starting to play the best he has all season, so I definitely think Oklahoma's going to win. And what's the over-under on it?
The over-under, hold on, I got it pulled up. Give me a second. 61.
61. I'll take the over on that. Oklahoma likes to score. They score a lot of points, and Oregon does too, and they're not real good at stopping anybody, so I think the over will definitely hit.
Yeah, Oregon did score only 10 points against Utah, but people don't think Oregon has a great offense. They have a decent offense, and Oklahoma, obviously, not a very good defense. Oregon's going to score some points in this game. I would be very shocked to see Oklahoma hold them to 10 points or less. I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, both teams obviously had their head coach leave. Mario Cristobal to Miami, Lincoln Riley to USC. I don't know which team's going to be able to handle the drama better. In this case, I think you just got to take Oklahoma just because I think Oklahoma's more talented and a lot of firepower on that team. So with that being said, me and Aiden are both going to take Oklahoma in the 4.5. Now this is a game, obviously, where these two teams aren't powerhouses by any means. This is the Music City Bowl with Purdue and Tennessee. Tennessee definitely looking on the uphill track, and Purdue had a good season themselves. They went 8-4 with some pretty impressive wins against Michigan State and Iowa, both teams that are pretty good and should have beat Purdue in those games. Now, Tennessee is a 4.5-point favorites. It sounds reasonable when you look at it on paper. You would think, like, just listening to the names, Tennessee and Purdue, one would automatically assume pretty much that Tennessee would just be the better team. Tennessee would win this game. I don't know. I can't pick Tennessee in this game. I could see an event where Tennessee wins. I don't see them winning by 4.5 points. I think this is going to be a close game, and there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game too. Now, the over-under for this game is 64 points. I'm taking the over in that. But I'm taking Purdue. Purdue is a good team. People can say all they want about who they've played and who they've beaten. Michigan State was overrated or Iowa was overrated. And in that case, it might be true, but those are two pretty good teams. I think that would beat Tennessee, in my personal opinion. Tennessee obviously has struggled on defense. They gave up 42 points to Kentucky. Very, very weird, but they do have a good offense, and they will put up some points too. Purdue has an okay defense, nothing great, but Purdue is capable of putting up a lot of points, and against Tennessee, I think Purdue is going to put up a lot of points. So with that being said, I'm kind of rambling on here. I'm going to take Purdue in the 4.5 points.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the same Tennessee team that we've seen all season, the team that can put up points, put points on the board, but have a hard time stopping anybody. And Purdue, the last couple weeks, they've been scoring a lot of points, around 40, 45 a game. So I think that Tennessee's defense is going to have a hard time stopping Purdue. And I know Tennessee's going to put up points, but Purdue's shown that they can stop great offenses this season. So I think that it'll definitely hit the over, and yeah, I got Purdue. As much as I hate to take them, I think Purdue is going to get it done. Even though the game's in Nashville, so it's basically like a home game for Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think Purdue has the better defense, and I don't think that Tennessee's going to be able to stop Purdue at all. Like, I really do have no faith in Tennessee's defense, and I've watched just about every single game. When it comes down to it, I don't think that Tennessee's going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, Purdue, they still have a good defense. They had one game when they played Ohio State, obviously the number one ranked offense in college football. They gave up a lot of points in that game. But other than that game itself, they've played really well on the defensive end. So Tennessee's great offense. They're still going to put up some points. I don't think they have the defense to really outmatch Purdue's defense. I think Purdue in this case wins the shutout. So we're going to take Purdue in the 4.5 points.
And the over.
And the over, the 64, yeah. I think that's pretty low, honestly, for these two offenses. And with the defenses they have, I think this game gets well over 64 points. But yeah, those are the 3 bowl games we wanted to talk about with you guys. Those are 3 lines, especially if you're heavy into betting. I think you need to take a look into and probably put some money on those. I think those are games you can win some good money off of. If you guys like this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. I know it gets annoying with me asking you guys, but with us being a new channel, it's really hard for us to get out there. So we want to keep pushing out these videos for as long as we can. We want to get the communities of all sports to come in, and I feel like we'll be able to do so once we start talking about other sports. But if you guys could please help us out, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a like, it would be much appreciated.